So I have described more than twice that it seems to me, after a life of observation, that money, or I should say centralized money, the money that we've all been using and fighting over, is a cause for a lot of badness. It's unnecessary badness, as in that which dissatisfies, that which makes satisfaction harder to feel. Um, but I'll be a bit more specific because money. I also advocate people creating money. So it's like, what's he talking about? He says money's bad, but then he talks about creating money. Um, the distinction I'm making is, the money we've been using has no intrinsic value. It's just because we think it's valuable that we do all the stuff we do for it. I'm talking about monies that have actual value. Like $1 means that there is a half a pound of grain, for making pasta or bread or cereal or whatever you'd want to make, granola or something, whatever you'd want to use grain to make. Pizza, you know. But the point is that dollar would have grain, and then when you spent that dollar on that grain, that dollar would not be flying around the community, the world, or anywhere, tricking people into thinking that it's valuable. But a root thing, and something that I'd say is bad, is the unfair exchange of energy, as in effort. Like the movement of energy, movement passed from particle of matter to particle of matter emanating from the sun. Light isn't actually matter, it's like an effect on matter. But that energy from the sun comes down onto the earth, it goes into the plants, into the food that we eat. And then it allows, that energy is in us then, and we move around and we work. We work for ourselves, we work for each other. That's energy. Unfair exchange of energy is when somebody takes more than they're giving. So that would be like a situation, like a really extreme situation would be a sweatshop where a bunch of people, young people and old people, work like from when they wake up to when they go to sleep, just about, really hard, and they get almost nothing in return. Like, definitely not a full day like that. It's worth work, worth a reward. The people who got the benefit of all that effort, they are profiting, but they're not giving back to those people who are working what they're getting. And it's arguable, since sweatshops usually just mass-produce lame stuff, that it's like they're probably not even getting as much effort from other people as they put into it, the people who are profiting the most. So I mean, money seems to facilitate this unfair exchange of energy, like on small scales and large scales. Like, it seems to push for it. Like, money seems to demand the unfair exchange of energy in almost every situation. Like, people charge as much as they can for things. They don't charge what they feel it's worth, what they feel they put into it. They charge as much as they can. And we all suffer as a result, Like, if you make more money by charging more money than you put into something, it seems good to you, but the other person kind of got ripped off, and it seems bad to them. The thing is when you have a whole world of people doing this, then, you're going to be on the bad end of the spectrum more times than you're going to be on the good end of the spectrum. A good example is, let's say, cell phone companies. I'm not going to hate on them because I know it's not the result of individuals, They have boards of stockholders, boards of directors, uh, large tables of people who own a lot of stock in the company, and they're the ones who make the decisions. They make the decisions as a group. And like most groups of people, they can only agree on a few things, if any. And being that money is what got a lot of those people to be major stockholders, it's probably what they're mostly motivated by. And that motivates them to make the policies that everybody tells you is the policy when you talk to people who work for cell phone companies. They're like, I'm sorry, if it doesn't make sense, it's the policy. If it doesn't make sense, it makes money. If it doesn't make sense, it's the policy. I'm sorry. And you take that all the way to the top, and it's not one person, it's a group of people. So I know that if one person were to speak up and say, hey, I think we should make things easier for everybody. I think we should stop trying to make so much money and just focus on being like servants, to the greater good. Like, let's help create the best world so we can all live there. The rest of the people would be like, you're crazy. A lot of the time, that seems to be the way it is. So I'm not mad at any individuals, but I am saying that it's unfair, the energy exchange. I had a cell phone a couple times, and I got charged hidden fees each time. Like, it was bad enough that I had to pay, like $50, $60 a month just to be able to make phone calls. And the reason that that was bad was because it took no effort on anyone's part to deserve those $50. Like, no one actually had to work. Like, once the cell phone towers got put up, they were there. And like, the amount of effort that it takes to build those cell phone towers and maintain them is a lot less than cell phone companies are making. Like, they are making so much profit off of no effort. No effort and so much profit. You do nothing, you get a lot of stuff. Why? Because you have something and you make it scarce. It's because you have something and they don't, so you can charge them as much as you want. And it's not fair. It's not nice. And the reason why these cell phone guys are the perfect example is because they're doing that to other people and they feel like they're profiting, but they're living in a world where people are doing that to each other. So they take all this extra money that they have, and next thing they know is like, oh, I got a hidden fee at the bank, or oh, I gotta pay extra taxes, or you name it, Like, they're probably almost as broke as anybody, because everybody's just trying to steal money from each other, and, I mean, not even steal it, but just, like, get it, and money is not valuable. As valuable as effort. As valuable as material resource. It's, like life in this moment. What's really valuable is, like, life. Like, being able to live life. To just, like, live life. And, I mean, life would be cooler if you could call all your friends around the world and talk to them, and not have to, like, slave away just to be able to do that. Life would be improved by being able to use a cell phone without the excessive energy that's being asked of you. It's totally fair that people get whatever they need to continue doing what they're doing and like have it been a worthwhile thing for them to do in the first place. It's fair, but like, we could pretty easily just share all the things we've had, and then we could all have a lot more, and we could focus on making good things that last, and then we could all just have good things that will last us our whole lives, and we can even hand down generations, and then we wouldn't be needing to make anything. We'd just be growing some food and like catching water from rainfall and having rivers and stuff like that, and living awesome lives with all, like, more than we ever would have had if we climbed to the top of the pile of fighting for money. Like, we could all have more than the people at the top have right now, including you guys at the top. I don't know if you're seeing this. I love you, but don't you want more too? Like, imagine a whole world of more. Yes, let's do it.